it's crazy how we live in a world that's like a 15-minute news cycle. But I think one of the biggest things that we've seen lately is all of the drama that's been going around with Adam22. And I think what's interesting as a whole is not just talking about that particular situation, but I think talking about the emergence of sort of these poly or ethically non-monogamous relationships in general. So I would love to go around the room and in the panel and just get a perspective or an opinion on monogamy versus poly relationships, arguments for, arguments against, what you personally feel, what
Are
you
we going to use the Adam22 story like kind of as the example with this one, or?
Yeah, sure. I can go into that really quick. So Adam22 was a podcaster. He was the No Jumper podcast. He married a woman who did, up until very recently, only girl on girl sex scenes. And essentially what happened was, for the first time in her career or life, and after they had been together for 7 years, she agreed, and he also agreed, to allow her to do a scene with another man. And then what was really interesting is that he took to Twitter and he kind of was making jokes about it at his own expense, and it was really kind of a weird thing to see, at least for me. And a lot of people thought that maybe it was done because the No Jumper podcast had taken some heat in recent months, and it was kind of he was a shining star that was kind of waning, and a lot of people saw this as a way of kind of getting back into that spotlight. But obviously, the internet really had a field day with this, and a lot of people on one side said, "Hey, look, like it's 2023." Sex is no big deal. People do it all the time. It's just sex. It's not a problem. And there was also people that said, I can't imagine ever, allowing and condoning my wife or my woman to have sex with another man. So I'm curious to kind of see where the panel falls on this maybe particular issue, but kind of like on the monogamy versus non-monogamy, poly sort of stuff as a whole.
Maybe let me just phrase the question a little bit differently before we get to the monogamy versus non-monogamy stuff. Maybe we'll make that like part 2. So I guess the question is here, would you respect a guy, for example, like this Adam22 character, if he wanted you to go and share your body with another man? If you're in a committed relationship, you claimed him, you wanted to be an LTR or marry him, for example, would you respect this guy, and why? So let's start with Jessica.
To be honest with you, I wouldn't respect him, because if he's allowing me to use my body on other guys, then he doesn't like love me the way he's supposed to be loving me, and I wouldn't appreciate that. It could it's like the other way around. If I'm not gonna allow my significant other to be going around and having relationship with other females, and then coming to me and kissing me, especially with all that is going around in the world, kissing me. I believe a lot in energy. So like him doing something with another female, and then that female has bad energy and coming to my house. I believe I'm really spiritual. So I believe, and I'm not gonna respect that.
All right. Let's throw it over to Nicole. What do you think about the notion of a guy that you're in a committed relationship with says, I want you to share your body with this man?
Would I respect him? No.
Why?
Because first of all, at that point, I'm being objectified, right? He has some sort of like fetish or something, that fantasy he wants fulfilled, and he wants me to be a player in that. I think I'm no longer loved fully, body and soul, as a woman. There's a lot of objectification going on there. Yeah, so no, I wouldn't be with him.
Okay. Shania?
Absolutely not. I am definitely a one-person kind of girl. So if the guy that I was with came up and said, hey, I think this would be a good idea to earn money, I would just be like, there's so many other ways. Why do we have to go to, kind of like what Nicole was saying, to objectifying me and making me share my body? So absolutely not.
Amber, your thoughts?
So the word allow, I don't know how I feel about that. because being someone that is a content creator that does do OnlyFans, that is very big in the community, I'm very big on expressing yourself, doing what you want. But when it comes to saying a man's allowing you to express yourself or allowing you to do content with someone, or him saying you have to do something with this person, I don't abide by those rules. I think they're it's a little wrong, and it crosses a few boundaries and a few lines, and I feel like that goes completely against the whole concept of actually wanting to express yourself on the internet versus just wanting to get money or being forced into doing certain things, which I feel like that falls into the realm of basically porn. So no, I would not want to be with someone like that. No.
Okay. I think Shania brought up an interesting point about money, because it seems in hindsight that the reason why they pulled this stunt is not because he wanted her to share her body with another man and he was a cuck and he wanted to enjoy that sort of aspect of it. But it seems clear at this point, based on the conversations that I've heard, that they did it for money and for clout. And the amount of money that they made off it is in multiples far, far greater than they ever anticipated. So they made a lot of money off this, apparently. I didn't get any numbers on it, but when you start hearing, certain words getting emphasized, like a lot of money, it could be 100,000, could be $250,000, it could be $1 million that they made off this, and new OnlyFans, subscriptions for their little, because they do this podcast where they interview somebody and then they have a threesome, with them afterwards, and then they sell that on the OnlyFans. So I think that was the driving force. Does the idea of monetary benefit to that extreme, like let's say $250,000 or $500,000 came out of this stunt, would that change your position on it?
No. Actually, yeah.
Is there a number? Like, is there a number where you flip that switch and say, okay, like I wouldn't do it for less than this amount?
I would do it if it was with someone I wanted to do it with. But I'm not going to have a man tell me, oh, you have to do content or make a porn video with a specific man. If it's someone I want to do it with, I'll do it. Otherwise, no. That's my stance on it. When it comes to a man specifically benefiting from something where I'm advertising myself, absolutely not. That's the whole reason why I run my own platform.
Use the word force. Somebody brought this up in the comments. It's almost like, I might be reading this wrong, but it's almost like you don't want to be allowed to do anything. It's like you don't want a guy to own you, sort of thing. Is that what I'm picking up on what you're throwing down?
I don't want a man to own me. The whole reason I started OnlyFans was because I wanted my own platform to express myself. I grew. I have my own OFTV. I have a huge group of friends that we all do everything together. I'm not saying girl on girl, boy on girl stuff, but we have a great community of people. I have never once felt forced into doing anything, but if I had a man specifically bringing me onto a platform like this Adam22 character saying, okay, well, now we're going to do a threesome and sell the money and you're going to get 20% of it. Absolutely not. That's so gross. No, thank you.
Okay.
So the Tate model is not ideal.
No.
In this situation, it sounds like. Well, I don't know exactly what, like, my guess is, if I had to put my own spin on this, like, I don't think he, and I might be wrong. I don't read about every little thing to that minute detail, but the way I think this came about was, I think she wanted to step out. I think she wanted to go dip into some strange and use the cover of, it's going to make us a bunch of money, it's going to get us back on top, it's going to reignite our clout, we're going to be back in the mainstream again, because there was a lot of drama around this guy and his podcast, and a lot of his employees, I think, were leaving because of, I don't know if it was mistreatment or there's comments that were made.
Well,
I see this
did you see the short video clip that she posted on Twitter when she was with the dude that she was going to do the scene with? She looked very excited.
She was pumped. Like, she couldn't be
She was
more
pumped.
excited.
Like, she was enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Like,
she was
not
ready.
like she didn't want to do it or she was, shy about it. Right.
I don't think that was for the camera. I think that was
no, it was natural.
Genuine burning desire.
Yeah, she was genuinely burning for that. Yeah, for sure.
But I think my next question, I think why this is important, I think we talk about this a lot, where you talk about, and Jessica kind of brought this up, where, if I were to do something, this would happen, or if my partner were to do something, there's kind of like, oh, we're on this even playing field. We're kind of on this even level. But can Adam and Lena's relationship ever be the same is my question. Like, she stepped out, maybe paid to do so, made a bunch of money of it, but does this forever change their relationship? And is this forever going to be sort of a stain on their marriage, so to speak, or will it not?
Well, I mean, so I think you both said that she was doing content before, like porn, correct? But girl on girl.
Girl on girl, like
it was all girl on girl, and they were also doing it together. Like, they would bring girls on their podcast and they would have threesomes together.
And
it was never with another man.
Gotcha. So, and they recently got married, right?
Yes, after they were together for like 7 years, I think it was.
Yeah, they have a child, don't they? Like a 7-year-old?
I don't know, but they could.
A daughter, yeah, from what I understand.
I think they do have a child, yeah.
So then, they've been together for so long and they just got married and they've been doing this. So I think their relationship, I mean, it's none of my business. I don't care. But I think their relationship will basically be the same because it's always been a factor in their relationship. I mean, they made a career off of it. And
but you don't think porn with a woman is different than a porn with a man? You don't think a woman having sex is different than a woman having sex with a man?
I mean, porn is porn. Porn is porn. So, like, really? Even if it is with another woman, it's with someone else. So, there was still kind of that adding someone in. There's just something going on. But I mean, like I said, I don't really know. It's none of my business. But I think it just seems like this has been a factor in their relationship for a long time, at least.
You had a bit of a different opinion, Amber. Can you just state that again?
Honestly, I think it's different. Girl on girl versus boy on girl is so different. It's completely different. It's two different realms.
Why is it different?
So, well, if it's just for fetish wise, girl on girl, whatever. It's hot, it's sexy, it's fun, turns people on. But when it comes to you sitting there fucking a random dude to make money, it's kind of gross. I'm sorry, but it's true. Unless it's someone that you're dating and you like them, or you have some arrangement going on specifically for content, porn like that, sitting around fucking a bunch of dudes is gross. I think it's gross. I don't do that. I'm not about it. But doing stuff with girls is so different. I'll stand by it. 100%.
Gotcha. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here. And pinned down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.